Di era digital serba cepat saat ini, para pengambil keputusan di bidang transportasi diharapkan mampu mengelola segala aspek di bidang transportasi dengan cepat, tepat, dan efisien. Untuk itu, Badan Pengembangan Sumber Daya Manusia Perhubungan memiliki program BPSDMP Next Generation yang berprestasi, profesional, etika, standar global, dan integritas. Profesional. Lulusan lembaga pendidikan di lingkungan BPSDMP akan memiliki kemampuan dan kompetensi yang mengikuti perkembangan zaman. Memiliki nilai kewibawaan dan kepemimpinan yang luhur, serta dilengkapi dengan sikap dan perilaku yang dapat diteladani yang dilengkapi dengan ide dan gagasan kreatif dalam mencapai target dan penyelesaian sebuah masalah. Etika. Mereka juga dibekali untuk senantiasa memegang nilai, norma, dan susila, serta mengimplementasikannya dalam mengelola hubungan dengan orang dan lingkungan di tempat kerja, berperilaku sopan, peduli kepada sesama, memiliki empati dan karakter diri yang kuat dan positif, serta menjunjung tinggi tata krama dalam bersikap dan berkomunikasi. Standar global. Lulusan diharapkan mampu bekerja secara optimal dan efisien dengan output kerja yang berkualitas. Dengan mengacu kepada standar nasional maupun internasional yang berlaku, dapat berperan aktif dalam isu keselamatan transportasi dan mendapatkan pengakuan kinerja terbaik dari dunia internasional. Integritas. Lulusan diajarkan memegang nilai dan prinsip bekerja secara jujur, tulus, dan berkomitmen untuk menegakkan kepatuhan hukum dan kedisiplinan dengan berpegang kepada kewajiban beragama, memiliki kesetiaan terhadap instansi dan masyarakat, serta teguh dan konsisten dalam menjalankan tanggung jawab yang diemban. BPSDM Perhubungan memastikan lulusannya memiliki nilai profesional, etika, standar global, dan integritas yang dapat dibanggakan. Karakter diri yang kuat dan positif menjadikan mereka pemimpin yang dapat mengayomi semua pihak, baik internal maupun eksternal. Dengan BPSDMP Next Generation, kami yakin dapat menghasilkan insan perhubungan yang berprestasi. Karena prestasiku, prestasimu adalah prestasi kita semua. Guna wisista nimpuna sista cara, BPSDM Perhubungan, membangun pemimpin, membangun bangsa.
Touching remote areas, outermost, underdeveloped, and disaster-prone. The state is here to provide equal rights for every Indonesian people. Transportation become the backbone, driving the growth of the economy. Connecting everything, everything moves and keeps moving in endless harmony. To be able to manage sustainable Indonesian transportation, competent and professional transportation human resources are needed. The Transportation Human Resources Development Agency is one of the units in the Ministry of Transportation, which has the duties and functions of carrying out the development of human resources in transportation through 20.
Let's start the webinar for today. Good evening, everyone, and also good morning in Washington, D.C. A very warm welcome to our international webinar, Public Transportation Challenges in Metropolitan Area. Before we begin, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Hananto, and it is my honor to be your moderator for today's international webinar. We would like to express gratitude for all making the time to attend this webinar. We hope everyone in good health, and I think you should be proud of this webinar because right now this webinar is attended by close to 300 participants. In Greater Jakarta, Indonesia, it is recorded that the number of movement has reached 88 million per day in 2020, and it is evident that this number keeps rocketing every year. This is partly due to the attractiveness of the Greater Jakarta to the working age group, making this agglomeration area a magnet for migrants. This great number demands to be accommodated. Currently, the majority prefers using private vehicles and leads the share of public transportation users in low level. According to the situation, in this webinar, we are trying to look for an experience and lesson learned from other countries on how they develop public transportation system to tackle urban transportation problem. Public transportation system face several challenges influenced by key governance and funding factors, including the role of transit authorities, government subsidies, and cooperation between central and local government. These challenges impact service quality, efficiency, and also accessibility. And now we would like to welcome the Honorable Secretary of Human Resources Development Agency, Ministry of Transportation of Indonesia, Bapak Wisnu Handoko. Selamat malam Bapak, terima kasih sudah bergabung di acara ini. And I would like to welcome our speakers. Our first speakers is Senior Advisor to the Minister of Transportation of Indonesia on Technology, Environment, and Energy. Ministry of Transportation of Indonesia, Bapak Suharto. Selamat malam Bapak. Terima kasih sudah berkenan hadir di acara ini. And also our second speaker is Dr. Rizati Hamidun, Director Road Safety Engineering and Environment Center from Maros, Malaysia. Good evening, Dr. Rizati. Thank you for joining us. And our last speaker is Dr. Joachim H. Horn, Head of the Transportation Section at the German Embassy in Washington, D.C. Good morning, Joachim. Thank you for your coming. Okay, for the first time, to mark the beginning of our event, we will witness together the opening remark from the Secretary of Human Resources Development of Transportation, Minister of Transportation of Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Kapten Wisnu Handoko. Bapak Wisnu, kami persilakan. Time is yours.
Thank you, Pak Ananto. As the moderator and also the head of Human Resource Development for the Land Transport Center, the Honorable Mr. Suharto, the Director General Greater Jakarta Transportation Authority, the Honorable Dr. Rizati Hamidun, Director of the Road Safety Engineering and Environment Research Center, Maros, Malaysia, Mr. Joachim Eichhorn, PhD, Head of the Transportation Section at the German Embassy, Washington, D.C., United States of America, Professor Insinyur Erika Bukhari, Master of Science, PhD, panelist from Sriwijaya University, and Director under Human Resource and Development on Transportation Agency, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, salam pro prestasi. First of all, let us praise God Almighty for all His blessing that we could gather virtually on this webinar, Public Transport Challenges in Metropolitan Area. And I am, on behalf of the head Human Resource Development Agency, delighted and honored to greet you all and to deliver this speech. Honorable attendees, metropolitan cities is Indonesia, metropolitan cities in Indonesia and across the globe are struggling with significant challenges stemming from traffic congestion, and this issue has become a critical concern due to rapid urbanization, increasing vehicle ownership, and limited infrastructure capacity. In many cases, the reliance on private vehicles coupled is leading to longer travel times, reduced productivity, and negative environmental impacts. Addressing these challenges requires comprehensive strategies, including the development of efficient public transportation network, the promotion of sustainable mobility solutions, and the implementation of smart urban planning policies. For instance, Jakarta, Indonesia capital, has faced numerous challenges in the transportation sector, with a population of over 10 million and an additional 3 times of population in its surrounding areas. Jakarta is known for its severe traffic congestion. According to data from the local transport authority of DKI Jakarta shows that monthly number of Transjakarta passengers reached around 31.62 million in 2024, a 42% increase compared to the same period to the previous years. However, public transportation users in Jakarta only account for 18.86% of total daily trips. Most of the population still relies on private vehicles, especially motorcycles, which make up 68.3% of total trips around the greater Jakarta area. The Ministry of Transportation and Jakarta Transport Authority have made various efforts to improve the quality and accessibility of public transportation. One such effort was the development of mass transit or MRT system, which began in 2019. In September 2024, the President officially began the construction of new 25-kilometer MRT line connecting Bekasi in East Jakarta to West Jakarta, with funding support on nearly $1 billion from Japan. This project is expected to be completed by 2031, and it is anticipated to reduce congestion and enhance mobility for residents. Additionally, intermodal integrations has become a key focus. However, challenges remain, such as inconvenient transfer points between modes, long distance between station and bus stops, and limited supporting facilities. Therefore, through planning and collaboration between the central government, local authorities, and other stakeholders are essential to achieve an integrated and efficient transportation system. Distinguished guests, another challenge is the low public interest in using public transportation. Factors such as comfort, safety, and affordability are becoming primary consideration. To address this, improving service quality, increasing the number of vehicles, and educating the public about the importance of using public transportation must be prioritized. Furthermore, the development of supporting infrastructures such as proper sidewalks, comfortable bus stops, and accessibility for people with disabilities should be a priority. Globally, metropolitan cities face similar challenges. Rapid urbanization, the growth of private vehicle ownership, and limited land availability are key issues. Therefore, sharing experiences and best practices through international forums like this is crucial. We can learn from other cities that have successfully addressed transportation challenges through innovation, technology, and effective policies. Honorable attendees, the webinar also has a strategic purpose in enhancing the knowledge and understanding of all academics and students at land transportation colleges under the Human Resources Development Agency, Ministry of Transportation. I do hope this event not only provides new insight, but also inspires creativity and innovative solution to address public transportation challenges in metropolitan areas. The role of land transportation college in tackling transportation challenges is vital. Research and development in the transportation field must be continuously encouraged to discover innovative and applicable solutions. Collaboration between educational institutions, the government, and industry will accelerate the implementation of this solution in the field. Finally, I would like to extend my congratulations to all participants for being part of this important webinar. It is my hope that this webinar can serve as a constructive discussion platform and emphasizes valuable recommendation for the development of public transportation in metropolitan areas. I would also like to express my deepest gratitude to everyone who involved in organizing this event for their effort, commitment, and dedication. Let us unite in our shared mission to build a sustainable, efficient, and environmentally friendly transportation system that benefit the economy of this nation. Together, we can create a brighter future for our cities and communities. Thank you for your attention and participation in this event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam pro-prestasi. Peace and prosperity for all us. Warm regards.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wisnu Handoko, for the opening remark. Please give virtual applause to Dr. Wisnu Handoko for the opening remarks. Thank you very much. I know that we are looking forward to our next part of our webinar, the presentation from extraordinary speakers from Indonesia and also overseas. They will provide us with insight about public transportation challenges in urban area. What should we do next? Right after, of course, we will have Q&A session before the end of our webinar. For all participants who ask question, please put your question to the Q&A box with the particular format. Type your name, space, question, space, and then to whom the question is directed. Again, the Q&A session will be held in the end of discussion session. So without further ado, on behalf of the organizing committee, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our international webinar, a dedication from the Ministry of Transportation of Indonesia. The first presentation will be given by Senior Advisor to the Minister of Transportation of Indonesia on technology, environment, and also energy. He has more than 30 years of experiences on transportation policy and planning in Ministry of Transportation of Indonesia. Besides his position as Senior Advisor on technology, environment, and energy, he is also now Acting Director General of Greater Jakarta Transportation Authority. He has played a key role in the creation of By the Service scheme for providing cost-effective and reliable public transportation system for several agglomeration in Indonesia. So please welcome Bapak Soeharto. Once again, selamat malam Pak Soeharto. Pak Soeharto, hari ini, malam ini hanya ada waktu 15 menit untuk paparan. 5 menit terakhir nanti kami akan ingatkan Bapak. Silakan Pak Soeharto. Masih mute Pak Soeharto? Still mute? Komite, do we have technical error or?
Pakai itu biasanya pakai. Halo.
Ya, Pak, sudah jelas, Pak?
Oke. Thank you, Pak Ananto, for your initiative so that this webinar event can be held today. Hopefully, this event will be beneficial to the audience. The Honorable Secretary of Human Resources Development Agency of Transportation, the Honorable all the speaker and seminar participants present, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity given to me. On this occasion, we will discuss important issues regarding the challenges of public transportation in metropolitan area. Please, yes. The growth of motorized vehicle in Indonesia currently still high, reaching an average of 8% per year, and in some cities reaching 13%, while the growth of road transportation is still very low, namely below 1%. Private vehicle ownership in Indonesia is still a social measure and still considered the most effective and efficient, considering that public transportation services do not yet reach the entire road network. The impact of the imbalance in growth of private vehicle and the road network result in the traffic jam and other side impact such as air pollution. For example, Jakarta cannot yet be free from traffic jam, even though the most complete modes of transportation are available, but it still has around 20% capital sale for public transportation. Study result Jabodetabek Urban Transportation Policy Integration in 2019 estimate that economic losses due to traffic jam will reach 100 trillion rupiah per year and make Jakarta ranks 13th most congested city in the world. Even though Jakarta has allocated 4.3 trillion per year rupiah, or around 5.13% of regional revenue and expenditure budgets for public transport subsidies. Public spending of public transport is still quite high, namely around 20% of their income. Jakarta and 6 other metropolitan cities continue to improve, especially to improve public transport services, although the result to date have not met to public's expectation. Meanwhile, for other city and category of small, medium, and large city, performance is still low. In terms of the implementation of public transport, it also does not have the same standard in several aspects, both technical, management, and financial, including policy implementation. According to regulation and policies, public transportation services are an obligation of the regional government according to its authority. If the public transport services is only in urban area, it's authority of the district or city government. Whereas if the service extend beyond 2 or more areas, it is the authority of the provincial government. This has been regulated in the traffic and road transportation law, as well as regional government law, and Minister of Home Affairs Regulation number 15 of 2024 has been issued regarding this obligation, which has also been confirmed in Government Regulation number 53 of 2023 that motor vehicle tax revenue are allocated at least 10% for transportation and public transportation services. Even though regulations are very supportive of the implementation of public transport services in each region. In reality, the commitment of regional head is still low. Of the 540 regional government, it's turned off that only 28 regional have provided public transportation services supported by the regional revenue and expenditure budget. The following are the 20 provinces and 60 cities regencies. In this graph, it can be seen that the allocation for transportation matter is still very low, namely still below 2% of the total affair that are responsibility of regional government. This percentage value is not only intended for public transportation services, but is the value of the total transportation budget, including salaries for organizing employee and the supporting facilities. In the absence of the sufficient budget support from the government, public transport services will be carried by operator without guidance from the government, with permission from the government in the form of the route permit and monitoring card. It is considered that government's tax has been complete. Thus, it can be concluded that the majority of public transport management in Indonesia is still conventional, that is it only take a moment to think about it. Without careful planning and sustainability of the service cannot be guaranteed. In order to improve the performance of public transport services in Indonesia, it is necessary to upgrade the local government commitment to provide better services. On the other hand, the central government need to issue guidelines for the management and comprehensive and modern public transport services, so that the government of public transport services has the same standard which include technical, financial, and policy standard. Planning aspect, which is based on community movement data, creating route, network, selecting and determining fleet need, including fulfilling supporting facilities. Management aspect, which is related to fulfillment of operational standard and procedure set by the government, which include operational arrangement, supervision, maintenance, including the need of vehicle crew to make implementation easier. Standard operation procedure, this need to be supported by IT technology so that the data obtained is in the real time. Finance aspect will be more related to financial management, including procurement mechanism and fleet rejuvenation. The policy aspect will greatly determine the sustainability of public transport services in the form of legal certainty for the public to obtain the right to public transport services, which are supported by an adequate budget. Institutional management of public transport is ideally carried by business entities and expected to carry out by regional companies. However, as a regional owner enterprise has not been formed, then in the short term, it can be managed by the Technical Implementation Unit atau UPT, while in the end, the regional owners enterprise like BUMD will act as the organizer of the BMC, bus management company. This institution is very important because it will be a mover for good management. Professional management and income diversification will be the benchmark for sustainable service delivery. The fiscal limitation of local government in providing subsidies for public transport services can be overcome by optimizing other sources apart from fare that can be collected directly from passenger. The role of management institution is very dominant in managing source of income as an effort to diversify income. Therefore, it is recommended that mandate be given from the regional head to the management institution. Some effort to diversify income include subscription ticket rate intended for student, university student, tourism, and member of Indonesia Hotel and Restaurant Association, PHRI, so that they will get fresh fund at the start, so they will get guaranteed income. Of street parking, with bearing a high tariff or no parking at all on the will be provide an increase in parking income of that. Planning advertisement on vehicle bodies, public service advertisement via Videotron in the vehicle. Bus stop management atau naming right, management of towing service for parked vehicle illegal on the road, organizing public workshop, especially for vehicle operational service. Opinion from V as a bus management company. Optimizing of type B and C terminal through a collaboration scheme with third parties for transit-oriented development. I think like this. Thank you, Pak Ananto. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, and please give virtual applause to Bapak Suwarto. Thank you for your nice presentation. Bapak Suwarto, Mr. Suwarto has explained to us the profile of Indonesian cities in terms of transportation. Private vehicle takes a higher proportion in mode split, and individual transportation cost is quite high comparing to monthly income. He also enlightened us with a new model of public transportation system in Indonesia, where several agglomeration has introduced the system. Thank you once again, Mr. Suwarto. Okay, our next expert is from Malaysia. She is currently working as Director, Road Safety Engineering and Environment Center, MARES, Malaysia. She studied Civil and Structure Engineering in University Kebangsaan Malaysia from 1998 to 2001 and obtained a doctoral degree in Transportation and Safety from University Technology Mara. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Rizati Hamidun. Dr. Rizati, you have 15 minutes to present your file. Please, screen is yours.
Okay, I try to share my slide. Oh, is disable share? Can I share my slide?
Yes, I think you can share your slide. Please, committee.
Yeah, it's still disabled.
Committee, can you help Dr. Rizati to share the presentation?
Okay, it's still disabled.
Just wait a moment. The committee
Alright.
will take the time for checking the file.
Okay.
I think you can share now, Dr. Rizati.
Okay. But still disable share.
Still disable share, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, just wait a moment.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, thank you so much for the kind introduction, Mr. Moderator, Dr. Hananto. I guess I still want to share the slide, but it's still disabled.
Our committee, please, can you help Dr. Rizati to share the presentation file?
Oh, it's still disabled. Maybe the host disable attendees screen sharing.
Yeah, I think the host is still just wait a moment.
Okay, I think it's good to go. All right. Can you see the slide?
Yes, we can see the slide, your slide.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Mr. Moderator, Dr. Hananto. And a very good evening to our distinguished panelists and guests. And I'm truly honored to be here tonight at this international webinar on public transport challenges in metropolitan area. I am technologist Dr. Rizati Binti Hamidun from Malaysian Institute of Road Safety Research, or MIROS. MIROS is actually an agency under Ministry of Transport Malaysia, or MOT. So for tonight, as we all know, efficient public transport is the backbone of any thriving city, and addressing its challenges is crucial for sustainable urban development. So in my presentation tonight, I will share insight to the key challenges faced by metropolitan public transport system in Malaysia, and we'll also discuss the initiative being taken to improve it. All right. As a start, let me share and giving an overview of Malaysia public transport network, starting with our rail network in Malaysia that connecting Peninsular Malaysia from Padang Besar, which located at north, to Johor Bahru, located at south, and continue to Tumpat, which located east. So while for the central region that located in Klang Valley, the rail network was established by interconnection of 6 types of public transport services, including the KTM commuter, LRT, MRT, ERL, monorail, and also BRT. Okay, so this is the overview of public transport network in Klang Valley. And this network is actually connecting two airports in Klang Valley, namely KLIA and Subang Airport. And this network is actually consists of two MRT line, the newer edition that provide high capacity rail transport. It also connected by 4 LRT line, a rapid transit system catering the high density urban route. Okay, one BRT line, a specialized bus system with dedicated lane for faster service. Okay, it also connected by one monorail that serve central Kuala Lumpur and connect major commercial area. Another 3 KTM commuter, a commuter train service connected suburban area to the city center, and also the ERL, a fast train service connecting Kuala Lumpur to KLIA airport. So actually in Malaysia, there are several train operator manage different segment of the rail network, including commuter service, intercity train, and also high-speed rail service. And the key operator in Malaysia is including Kereta Api Tanah Melayu atau or KTMB. This KTMB is actually the national railway operator that providing both intercity and commuter service. So it operate the KTM intercity, provide the long distance travel to various state, the KTM ETS or the electric train service for faster intercity travel, and also the KTM commuter, which connect the suburban area to major city like Kuala Lumpur. Okay, another rail service operator in Malaysia is Prasarana, a government-owned company. Prasarana oversee urban public transport, including the LRT, light rail transit, and also monorail system in Kuala Lumpur. Okay, other rail operator in Malaysia is MRT Corp that manage the construction and operation of the MRT, Sungai Buloh Kajang line, and also the MRT Putrajaya line, both of which are integral to enhancing public transportation in Kuala Lumpur. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in Malaysia, there are numerous bus operators catering to different segments of the market, including city bus, long distance coach, and also the rural route. So here are the key operator in Malaysia. Number one is the Prasarana subsidiaries, Rapid KL, that operate an extensive network of bus, the stage bus in the Greater Kuala Lumpur area, Penang, and also Kuantan. These buses are the key part of the urban transport system, providing coverage throughout the city and connecting to other mode of transport like the LRT, monorail, and also the MRT. Okay, another bus service operator is the Consortium Transnational Berhad, is one of the Malaysia's largest and most established long distance bus operator, and it runs service connecting major cities and towns across Malaysia, operating the stage bus in 5 regions and also the express bus under 3 brands. Okay, Transnational, Plus Liner, and also the Nice Executive Coach. Okay, so Mara Liner is another long distance bus service operator offering route connecting major cities and towns in Malaysia, including Kuala Lumpur, Penang, and the northern region. Okay, Mara Liner is known for providing reliable and affordable intercity travel. Other service operator is Halal Indah, as shown as in this slide. Okay, so when we talk about public transport in any metropolitan cities, there is no exception to its challenges as well. So for metropolitan area in Malaysia, the challenges include traffic congestion as Jakarta, yeah, is one of the biggest problem, particularly in Kuala Lumpur. The increasing number of private vehicles on the road lead to longer travel time and the increased emission in our country. Okay, we also facing public transport issue on overcrowding
Tandanya
during
apa sih Kak
peak
kalau
hour,
gitu?
as many of our train and bus service operate at full capacity during peak hour, making commuter uncomfortable for passenger. While major urban areas are well connected, but many suburban and rural areas still have limited public transport service, leaving resident dependent on private vehicle. Okay. Other issue is related to the lack of integration and connectivity between different transport mode such as MRT, LRT, KTM and buses that makes commuting less efficient and also discourage the use of public transport. So currently in Malaysia is only 16, okay, 16 mode share for the public transport, as their primary route of commuting is significantly lower than its other developed country. To tackle these challenges, the Malaysia government and Transport Authority have introduced several initiatives as listed in the right column here. Okay, so it's include the establishment of the Cabinet Committee on Road Safety and Congestion, also providing new dedicated lane for buses. Other initiatives include increasing fleet by transport operator, also expanding the network like MRT3, which is coming. So the initiative also focus on public transport and pedestrian infrastructure, and also we have introduced the demand responsive transport or DRT. We also develop the journey planner and providing many subsidies scheme. Okay, looking to this slide, I giving you the detail of each initiative provided by Malaysian government. Okay, so the establishment of the Cabinet Committee on Road Safety and Congestion in early 2023 actually really strengthening the relationship between central and regional government. So this committee is actually served as a coordinating platform between various government agencies which involve in transport and also road safety. So all these agencies include Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Housing and Local Government, Ministry of Work, okay, Road Transport Department, Police, Local Authority, Transport Operator, and also the related agencies. And this committee also responsible for formulating policies and making recommendation to the Malaysian Cabinet. Additionally, dedicated bus lane is being implemented in Kuala Lumpur, especially to improve bus travel time and combating traffic congestion issue in metropolitan cities. Okay, so it started last year, 2023. We have doing the trial run for the new this dedicated bus lane. Okay, at several routes. Okay, overseeing issue related to overcrowding, public transport operators are also committed increasing their fleet size by adding more buses and also increase train frequency to accommodate growing passenger demand. All right. So the focus also given to public transport and also pedestrian infrastructure, and all these initiatives have been spelled out in budget 2025, which include to upgrade 100 bus stop via public-private collaboration. It also include the construction of new 47-kilometer long of special bus lane, and also introducing the stage bus service transformation program. Okay, so we do have the upcoming MRT3 Circle Line. So this line will really help connect more areas and improve accessibility across Klang Valley. So MRT Corp as the operator is exploring new funding model including public-private partnership for MRT3 and other future infrastructure projects. Okay, when we talk about to enhancing integration and also the connectivity, we have introduced the responsive transport or the DRT, which allow for flexible on-demand public transport service. And this DRT is actually offer cheap rate. Okay, services is only 1 or 2 ringgit per trip. Okay, and this service is actually easily accessed through the mobile apps. All right. So, in addition, a digital journey planner was also introduced by transport operator. For example, these mobile apps, what we call it as Pulse, okay, which was designed to assist public transport commuter in Klang Valley, Penang, and also Kuantan. Okay, well, I'll share with you just now that we are having very low public transport mode share is only 16%. So to increase this model share, the government is introducing subsidy scheme to encourage the public to use buses and train more frequently. So the subsidy scheme is include My 50 Unlimited Travel Pass. It also include My City Pass, and okay, not forget the discount for the special group through the concession card discount, and also the express pass fare discount have been launched a few years. Okay, and also we do have a free bus service. Okay, for example, the bus service is Go KL, Smart Selangor, and also PJ City Bus. Okay, so all this subsidy is actually increasing our ridership from 800,000 a day to currently it reached up to 1.4 million ridership per day. So it's progress. Okay. So as a conclusion, I really want to highlight that although public transport system, particularly in major city, face numerous challenges, so, but the various initiatives implemented by the government have led to a significant progress in Malaysian public transport system. So, with this, I would like to thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity to be part of this tonight webinar. I also want to thank the audience for your time and attention, and I really look forward for continuing this dialogue in the future. And thank you once again. So I will pass back this session to our moderator, Dr. Hananto. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Rizati, for your nice presentation. Please give virtual applause to our colleague, Dr. Rizati from Myros. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Rizati. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this webinar is getting more interesting. We are about to present now our third speaker, an international expert. He's from Germany, has a professional career in Federal Ministry of Transportation and Digital Infrastructure. And he is now currently working as head of the transportation section at the German Embassy in Washington, D.C. He had also experience as chief of staff at Stefan Bilger, MP, Transportation Committee at the German Bundestag Parliament. Dr. Joachim Eschhorn, please welcome. You have 15 minutes for your active presentation, and I will remind you in the last 5 minutes. Thank you. Time is yours, Joachim.
Hello, let me share the slides. Sorry.
Can you share your slide, Joachim?
Yeah, give me. Sorry, I knocked me out.
There is a button share in the middle,
Yeah,
the green one.
yeah, I know. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it, your file presentation.
Okay. So, can you see the presentation?
Yes, I can see the presentation. Can you make a slideshow to make it bigger?
Sorry, give.
Slideshow is the button. You can push the button and the right side. Bottom right side. But that's okay if you want to continue.
Yeah. Okay. So hi. So Joachim, Aisho, and call me Joe. That's fine. Welcome to Germany. Can you see the next slide,
Yes, clear.
which says Germany?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So hi, now we move now from Indonesia and Asia, 11,000 kilometers to Germany. Just a quick introduction. Germany is right in the middle of Europe. You see it, we are a rather small country. We have just 84 million people. You know, Indonesia is much bigger, but we are a dense country. We have 240 people per square kilometer, which is pretty dense. Our biggest city is Berlin with 3.7 million people. So that is not quite as big as your bigger cities. And we are committed to sustainable transportation, of course. We all face the same challenges like air pollution, congestions, and environmental issues. So we try to improve our system as well. I give now a little bit of more of a broader perspective about how it works, the public transportation in Germany. We do have a ridership of 26 million passengers per day in entire Germany. And we have a model share in Berlin of about 1/4, so 25% who are taking public transportation a day. And I'm honored and thanks for having me this morning. At least it's morning in Germany. So Germany is a federal organized state. As you can see, we have provinces, we have regions, 16 of them in Germany. Bavaria is the most famous one, and they're very important if it comes to public transportation. We do have one of the most dense rail networks in the world. Basically, it's the densest network in the world. Well, we started building it 1835, so a long time ago. This is really important to understand how Germany works. The major player, the big fish in the pond, is Deutsche Bahn, German Rail. It's a private company, but it belongs to 100% to the German state. So here you can see this is old Germany. This is the rail network alone. So it's pretty dense. You know, in larger countries, it's the most dense network in the world. German Rail, you can see our flagship train, ICE, on the left side. It's a bigger, as I told you, private company, 100% state-owned. They operate the long-distance trains and a lot of the regional connections as well. So this is what I have in mind for us, but I will be quick, I promise. You know, German efficiency. So talking about the budget, Germany spends in whole around 33 billion euros for public transport a year. That's 13 billion euros from the federal budget. That's about 1% GDP and 4% of all collected tax in Germany. And I think we talked about this before. 30% is about for the revenue is from the customers, so ticket pricing, and 60% comes out of the taxpayers' budget. So who gets the money and who is it from? So the federal money comes from the it goes into the federal budget, and every year it's spent. It's spread out to the 16 regions, the provinces, the German states. And what the German states, what the provinces, the regions are doing is they give the money out to commuter and rail and transit system. So they put a tender out, and you can apply for it. So it's a public tender, and everybody can apply for it. Because Germany is part of the European Union, basically we have French operators, we have English operators in Germany as well. And of course, Deutsche Bahn, German Rail applies, and they get one of the tenders as well. So they provide service in the regions. And in addition to the federal money, the regions give money as well, and of course the local authorities, like the local municipalities and so on. What makes German, metropolitan areas more attractive if it comes to public transportation is that we stop the single thinking, like every local authority is just working on its own. We call it transport associations. So regions, they put all what they have in one basket, and they operate basically as in bigger areas. So I'm from close to Frankfurt, where the big airport is. It used to be just my city, and now they decided, hey, let's put all the other cities together, and then you can buy a ticket from my town and go all the way to Frankfurt, use the Frankfurt network as well, and then even south. So it's one ticket for entire region. Even there are rural areas as well. Track infrastructure. Tracks for trains belong to the federal government. Maintenance is done by the German Rail. They have an infrastructure part and financed by customers, which means the rail operators, but even the German rail operator, German Bahn, German Rail, they have to pay for using the tracks as well. And of course, we have an agency in administration who controls everything. But for us, the big success was when we decided to give German Rail, the infrastructure part, as I said, the chance to operate on long distance for the next 10 years. So we give them a contract which says, hey, you get certainly this amount of money every year for the next 10 years. And now please maintain the tracks in Germany for us, for the German government. And now they can not do decisions from one fiscal year to another. Now they know, hey, we know what to do, so we can do this right now, and we can do this one in 5 years, and they can use better materials to because they have a 10-year horizon. So for us, that makes totally sense. And of course, one of the smaller track areas like monorail or others, heavy rail system in cities, they belong to the cities, but they get subsidies from the federal budget because as a city they have not enough money to pay for new tracks on their own. So public-private partnerships for public transport developments. In Germany, most of the PPP projects in general are more on the street side for the famous German Autobahn with no speed limit. And because we have a toll system for heavy trucks, so they can get the money back using the toll paid by trucks. But we do have PPP projects for German rail operators, mainly for building stations. You can see the big project in the southwest, Stuttgart 21, and of course, maybe more famous, the Berlin main station. We have the PPP works like the station is built by German Rail, by the rail operator DB, Deutsche Bahn, and they use the building basically for retail stores and others, or put flats inside of it and then sell it or whatever. So that's the idea for PPP. Last thing, and hopefully the most interesting, is the question lessons learned. I mean, it's always the same. If you want to improve the system, the public transport system, you always have to ask what does the customer want. Customer is king, as we say in Germany, even if we are a democracy, of course. What makes it more easy for customers to use the system? I still remember I was from Berlin. I visited my sister in Munich in the southeast. I was standing in front of the ticketing machine. I was asking myself, "Am I dumb? I am really from a rural area. If you cannot understand the ticketing machine in half of a minute, it's please change the system." So what we did in Germany, and it's really successful, is we have one ticket for whole Germany, for the entire transport, public transport system, without the long distance trains. So if you want to use the fancy ICE, the long distance fast train in Germany, this is a different story. But if you can use all the commuter systems, and even the commuter rail sometimes go from, you can just have to change once or twice to go from the very south to the very north with the commuter rail system. Though the network is pretty dense, as I said. But with this, we call it D-Ticket, so German ticket, Deutschland ticket. That's about $50 or euros per month. And then you can use the entire German network. All buses, all commuter rail trains, every kind of heavy rail, light rail, whatever you can imagine, you can use it. And this, of course, it's online, and you can use it. You can basically have it for a year and then use it. But this is absolutely fantastic. But it comes with a cost. There is a price tag. So that puts additional money into the system. And of course, more people use it. So we have to put additional money in more maintenance and more service and so on. But it's a huge success. And then, of course, which is pretty good, is the DB Navigator app, which basically means you can use one app, one website to ask yourself, how can I go from point A to point B? It works pretty good in the entire Germany. So even from your local small town or village, they show you, hey, you can use this bus to go to the next train station, and then you can use the train and go forward. And then if you arrive at the train station, there is another bus waiting for you, or maybe you have to wait for half an hour, and it brings you to point B. So that's pretty good. And the transit agencies, the associations, which I mentioned earlier, they are pretty successful because it makes it just for the customers so easy to buy one ticket in a region. And if you're coming as a tourist or for working and you don't want to buy, the monthly ticket, $50 D-Ticket, Germany ticket, it's still quite easy to go from A to B. So, but, I'm German, so we always question ourselves, what can we do better? There's a lot of stuff we can do better. We can integrate the long distance train competitors to the official German rail. You see the Flix train, Flixbus, or Flix is a large bus network operator in Germany, privately owned company, 100% privately owned. And German Rail does not want the competitors on their Navigator app, so we should integrate this as well, so we have one app for all kinds of transportation, even privately owned. And then, of course, we always can improve better the ticketing system into the app. I told you you can see which bus runs on the DB Navigator app, but you cannot buy the ticket for this. So we should improve this. I said about we should put more competitors into the one app. Then, of course, we can always invest more in infrastructure. We did this. Germany lags a little bit behind of spending money into the infrastructure. Infrastructure, I mean the tracks and so on. And of course, I mean, this is a metropolitan area talk, but to really think about metropolitans, we have to put the rural areas into the thinking as well. And we can always do better in thinking about solutions for rural areas, connect them to metropolitan areas, and put them all in place. Last point, I just want to mention that we do have solutions. I saw them autonomous shuttle buses. Germany has solutions for autonomous driving as well. We have lots of, I mean, there was a German bus, MAN, with the German license plate, one of the slides. Thank you for that. We have solutions for many problems. I talked about AVs already. And of course, DB, the German rail operator, they have a consulting company as well, and they do a fantastic, incredible job already in the US and in other parts of the world, in India and Egypt and other places. So if you're interested in connections with German business, I'm happy to talk about this as well. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Please give virtual applause to our colleague, Dr. Joachim from Germany. I think Indonesia can learn a thing or two from our colleague Germany. Dr. Joachim gave us insight on the public transportation development in Germany, especially for railway infrastructure. Then he also saw how Germany encourages people to use public transportation through several promotional scenarios. Thank you so much, Dr. Joachim. Okay, after listening to speakers' presentation, now it is the time for panel discussion. We have one Indonesian expert as panelist today. She will give us even more insight from an expert point of view regarding the public transportation development. Before we proceed, I want to say hello to our participants. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you will stay until the end of our webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Erika Bukhari. She is from Sriwijaya University and has long experience in Indonesian transportation research and policy. Ibu Erika, Profesor Erika, screen is yours. Kami persilakan, Bu.
Terima kasih, Pak. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Harananto. Good evening and good morning in Washington, D.C. The speakers, Mr. Hartarto, Dr. Rizati, and Mr. Joachim. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the interesting presentation. I started from Mr. Suharto presentation for the Indonesian transport case. We underline that the implementation of sustainable public transport services is of utmost importance in Indonesia, especially Jakarta has a good program for improving public transport. So I would like to emphasize the need for service commitment presented on page 8 in the presentation. Policy aspect haven't explicitly included law enforcement. The most important thing in Indonesia is law enforcement. That's why it should be emphasized. So another thing in service commitment is that we need management aspect, including discussion about the authority that we will take responsibility. In Germany, Singapore, London, and many other cities have public transport authorities. Why Indonesian don't have one? or maybe in another kind of institution. Malaysia has almost similar problem with the public transport system in Indonesia. That is congestion, overcrowding, limited coverage, poor connectivity, and low public transport usage. However, Malaysia has more rail transport than Indonesia. Successful action have been made by various initiatives. I'm very interested in noticing the last conclusion that the successful actions have been made by various initiatives having been implemented, such as infrastructure improvements, dedicated bus lane, expanding MRT3, increasing fleet capacity, enhancing connectivity through pedestrian infrastructures, and demand responsive transport, and introducing subsidy schemes to encourage public transport use. This has been implemented as well in Indonesia, but we don't have various initiatives which have in good collaboration. So I noticed from Dr. Josim's conclusion that there are two most important things in implementing sustainable public transport services, namely budget and the responsibility. Of course, if we have budget, we can do many things. So in my experience, when I was in Germany, almost no problem with the public transport. But here in Indonesia, if our public transport have low occupancy, or legislative people or many people has said that, wow, this is not good. This is very low occupancy. But there's no problem in Europe if the public transport has low occupancy because they have budget. They don't fight for the chance to get the budget. So this is another thing, namely budget and responsibility. This responsibility of authority. Of course, this authority can work in many ways. And interestingly, Germany has provided one ticket for the whole Germany. We have one ticket for one city only, and maybe we will need to combine our system in many cities so that we can have one ticket for one Indonesia. Of course, it is difficult because of budget and because of our wide country. Interesting, very interesting that transit agencies work together. This is probably due to the existence of the Public Transport Authority that allows collaborative work. If we have enough budget, there is no bother if many means of public transport are low occupancy. So we have to learn more from the concept of public transport, which is really belong to public. So thank you very much for interesting presentation from all the speakers. I think I have used more than 5 minutes. I don't have more time, maybe. Mr. Ananto, do I have time?
1 or 2 minutes, you can add your comment,
Okay.
Professor Rita. Yeah.
Yes, congestion. This is a problem even in very developed countries. Like in Indonesia, we have very big problem with the congestion. And this congestion also can make the travel time longer. And this why this longer time will discourage people to use public transport. So we have to fight. In public transport management, like the operators, I noticed that they they used to have a headway. They use for example 10 minutes headway, and because of the congestion problem, the headway can longer become 30 minutes. So this is the most problem from the city, not from the operator. The operator has tried to serve very good the system and the CCTV. They can control the headway, but they cannot do anything if the congestion came from any other cause problem. For example, the truck or the too many, because there are too many private cars on the street. So in Malaysia also, they have congestion, and but I think we have different effort to make. In Indonesia, we have to try everything. One single ticket, one digitalized public transport. We have tried this system, but we will increase our effort to make this system widely used in the whole cities in Indonesia. Well, in Malaysia, they have already got the institution initiative to work collaboratively with other institutions, and there are many rail transport which is very good in servicing people, but then don't worry about fleet capacity, don't worry about low occupancy. I think low occupancy we have to cover with the action to reduce the congestion. That's why public transport authority is utmost importance. Thank you, Dr. Hartanto. I think thank you again for all the speakers.
Thank you very much, Professor Erika from Sriwijaya University. Please give virtual applause to our Professor Erika for the useful insight and comment. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is the moment for other participants to be involved because we are entering the Q&A session. And on behalf of the organizing committee, we apologize in advance if your question cannot be read because the amount of the question against our time limit. And now I'll read the question that came in and has been curated by the organizing committee. Committee, please, let's show the question for our speakers. Okay, it is not clear. I cannot read the questions. I think it is too small. Okay. Question 1 to our colleague Joachim. Germany is known for having a highly efficient, environmentally friendly, and well-integrated public transportation system. What are the main challenges in implementing sustainability-based policies in the public transportation sector, and what strategies can overcome these challenges? Joachim, you can answer the question.
Yeah, thank you very much for the very good question. Appreciate it. So the rail network in Germany is already pretty much electrified. So there is a way to sustainability already. But we have a lot of buses they run on diesel engines, and that is a challenge to get rid of the diesel buses and put electrified buses into place. So we think about, hydrogen buses, and we do have some hydrogen buses, but then there is the infrastructure part, and so the entire electric process of sustainable buses is a challenge for us, especially in more rural areas. But when we talked about this, it costs a lot of money, especially right now where you have a lot of other challenges. We have a ongoing war in Europe, and a lot of other issues. So for us, it's a real challenge to put even more money into the system. But we have a clear path to decarbonize transportation until 2045, I suppose. And I think the hydrogen process is good for us. We're doing quite well, and the battery buses. And I think but we have to think about broader in the sustainability area, because it's not only about decarbonize diesel buses and so on. It's more about the entire network. So I said the autonomous driving shuttles are really interesting. We're looking into this. We now do a study in a smaller town, or no, it's not a smaller town, but it's it's a normal sized town in Germany. And then you can have, you have more efficiency if you have autonomous driving shuttles. They are better. The autonomous vehicles are better drivers, and they need less power and so on. So this is just a quick answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Joachim, for your answer. Okay, next we move to the next question. Please, committee, let's show the questions. Okay, the question for Dr. Rizati. Based on Myra's experience in improving road transportation safety in Malaysia, what strategies can be applied in Indonesia to reduce accident and improve the safety of public transportation users? Dr. Rizati, you can answer the questions.
Okay, I just share what Malaysian government do is the main pushing factor is through the establishment of the Cabinet Committee on Road Safety and Congestion that have been set up in 2023. So perhaps this is the way how Indonesia can apply the same strategy, having the cabinet committee that really look into the road safety matters and also the public transport matters. So through this committee, all the government and the ministries that relate to the transport, traffic, and also road safety will sit down together to discuss on the initiative and also providing agreed on the budget. What would be the best strategy to overcome certain issues. So we have this cabinet committee that really active, and from my view, having this committee is really expedite any initiative have been laid out in any public transport master plan. So perhaps Indonesia can take action like having this kind cabinet committee. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rizati, for your answer. Okay, next we move to the third questions. Committee, please, for the third question. Okay, this is the third question for Bapak Suharto, Mr. Suharto. Faced with the challenges of increasing congestion and urbanization in metropolitan areas such as Jakarta, what is the government's long-term strategy for effectively integrating various modes of public transportation while encouraging a shift from private vehicle to public transit. Bapak Suwarto, kami persilakan.
Thank you, Pak Haranto. This is a basic question. I want to try to answer. Overcoming congestion and increasing urbanization in Jakarta and other metropolitan area is a significant challenge that require a strategic and sustainable approach. Strategic to address this issue include several aspects, namely, number one, for example, development and integration of transportation modes. The government continues to develop a rail-based transportation system such as MRT, LRT, commuter line Jabodetabek to increase mass transportation capacity. Physical and digital integration between mode of transportation through transit-oriented development system. Second, private vehicle reduction policy. Development of park and ride facilities so that private vehicle users switch to public transportation at specific point. Incentive for public transportation use include more affordable fare and more convenient service. Number three, improve of public transportation infrastructure and services. Improvement of mass transportation service quality includes punctuality, safety, comfort for user. Therefore, the role of technology and digitalization. Utilization of big data and artificial intelligence to optimize public transport route and schedulers. Number five, collaboration with various parties. Cooperation with the private sector in the development of transportation infrastructure and services. So these various strategies, the government hope to create a more efficient, convenient, and inclusive public transportation system so that more and more people switch from private vehicle to public transportation and help reduce congestion in metropolitan area. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Suwarto, for your answer. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, this will be the end of our question and answer session, but not yet the end of our webinar. We apologize for other questions that are not read and answered by our experts. Okay, the next session is the certificate presentations. We humbly present the certificate to all of our speakers, panelists. Of course, right now, we will present it virtually, which will be given to our speakers and panelists. The first certificate will be delivered to Bapak Suwarto. Terima kasih Pak sudah berkenan hadir dalam kegiatan hari ini. And then the next certificate will be given to Dr. Rizati Hamidun, our colleague from Malaysia, from Miros. Thank you so much, Dr. Rizati, for your coming.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
Okay. And then the next certificate for our colleague, Dr. Joachim. Joachim, thank you so much for joining in our webinar. Thank you so much. Hopefully you can join our next webinar in the near future. Thank you so much. And the last certificate will be for Professor Erika Bukhari from Sriwijaya University. Terima kasih Bu sudah berkenan hadir dalam kegiatan malam ini. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately we have come to the end of our webinar, Public Transportation Challenges in Metropolitan Area. I try to conclude what our speakers mentioned earlier. In today's In today's fast-paced world, public transportation must evolve with a modern approach to meet the ever-changing needs of passengers. The principle that the customer is king remains at the heart of public transportation services, emphasizing efficiency, comfort, safety, and convenience. By integrating smart technologies, improving service quality, and prioritizing passenger satisfaction, public transport can become more reliable, accessible, and sustainable. A modernized system not only enhances our user experience, but also contributes to economic growth and environmental well-being. Investing in innovation and customer-centric solution will ensure that public transportation remains a preferred choice for all. So, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to express gratitude to all of our speakers, panelists for today, and also all of our participants. Thank you. See you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless us all. Let's give applause to all of us. Thank you very much for joining this
Thank you
international
for having
webinar.
me. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Thank you,
Joaquin.
everyone.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Rizati. Terima
Yeah,
kasih,
thank
Pak
you, Dr.
Suwarto.
Hananto.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih semuanya. Thank you for all. And you may leave the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Touching remote areas, outermost, underdeveloped, and disaster-prone. The state is here to provide equal rights for every Indonesian people. Transportation become the backbone, driving the growth of the economy. Connecting everything, everything moves and keeps moving in endless harmony. To be able to manage sustainable Indonesian transportation, competent and professional transportation human resources are needed. The Transportation Human Resources Development Agency is one of the units in the Ministry of Transportation, which has the duties and functions of carrying out the development of human resources in transportation through 27 colleges, polytechnics, academies, and institutes spread from Aceh to Papua, and supported by the best teaching staff in their respective fields, with a learning system that includes study programs and curricula that are tailored to the needs of the transportation industry. Young individuals who wish to join BPSDMP schools are required to participate in the selection process for prospective cadets, or CPEN chatter. Here, cadets are educated Asian transportation sector towards sustainable transport, which adopts digital transport-rated transport. The transportation professional who are the cornerstone of advanced and zero-accident transportation in Indonesia. In this fast-paced digital era, decision-makers in the transportation field are expected to efficiently manage all aspects of transportation with speed and accuracy. To achieve this, the Transportation Human Resources Development Agency has the BPSDMP Next Generation Program, Prestasi. Professionals, graduates of educational institutions in BPSDMP, will have abilities and competencies that align with the changing times. They will possess integrity and noble leadership qualities, as well as exemplary attitudes and behaviors. Additionally, they will be equipped with creative ideas and innovative thinking in achieving targets and solving problems. Ethics. They are also equipped to consistently uphold values, norms, and ethics and implement them in managing relationships with people and the environment in the workplace. They demonstrate polite behavior, care for others, possess empathy, strong and positive personal character, and uphold etiquette in their attitude and communication. global standards. Graduates are expected to work optimally and efficiently, delivering high-quality work outputs according to applicable national and international standards. They actively contribute to transportation safety issues and receive recognition for their excellent performance from the international community. Integrity. Graduates are taught to uphold values and principles of honesty, sincerity, and commitment. They enforce legal compliance and discipline while adhering to religious obligations. They demonstrate loyalty to their institution and society and remain firm and consistent in fulfilling their responsibilities. BPSDMP ensures that its graduates possess professional values, ethics, global standards, and integrity that can be proud of. Their strong and positive personal character makes them leaders who can nurture and support all parties, both internally and externally. With BPSDMP Next Generation, we are confident in producing high-achieving transportation professionals because my achievements, your achievements, are our collective achievements. Guna Wisisten Impuna Jara. BPSDMP Transportation, building leaders, building the nation. Touching remote areas, outermost, underdeveloped, and disaster-prone. The state is here to provide equal rights for every Indonesian people. Transportation become the backbone, driving the growth of the economy. Connecting everything, everything moves and keeps moving in endless harmony. To be able to manage sustainable Indonesian transportation, competent and professional transportation human resources are needed. The Transportation Human Resources Development Agency is one of the units in the Ministry of Transportation, which has the duties and functions of carrying out the development of human resources in transportation through 27 colleges, polytechnics, academies, and institutes spread from Aceh to Papua, and supported by the best teaching staff in their respective fields, with a learning system that includes study programs and curricula that are tailored to the needs of the transportation industry. Young individuals who wish to join BPSDMP schools are required to participate in the selection process for prospective cadets or
Terima kasih.